Hey guys, it's Joe93. So I thought that, as you guys know, I've now been able to see the movie and reflect on my thoughts. I've actually seen it twice now as of today, so it is time to get down to business and talk about Wakanda Forever. Did it work for me? Did I have problems with it? What am I thinking? Where are we going to go? So let's do pros and cons, okay? So first let's talk about the good. The tribute did work for me. I thought it was beautiful. I thought they honored T'Challa well, and I thought that really worked. So that's in the good section. More good. Loved Ironheart. Thought the humor was incredibly well placed. I think Ironheart will be a worthy addition to the MCU, and I can't wait to see what they do with her for the next adventure. So I'm excited about that. That was great. Another thing I loved is the Dora Milaje. I thought Okoye was awesome. I thought that looked very well, and it definitely it worked for me. I felt like things worked, and I felt that they did their job. So that was good. Another thing that worked for me is I thought Shuri's struggle from being a scientist to being a spiritual believer was a very interesting journey, and I thought they handled it well. Another thing that worked for me was Namor. Namor was easily the standout in the movie for me. They casted him perfectly. He was such an intimidating presence. He was threatening. His powers were super well done. I loved everything about him. I thought they did a great job, and he's up there for me in terms of MCU villains. Definitely a great addition to the film. Another thing that worked for me was Namor's forces of Atuma and his other warriors. Very formidable, very, very threatening. The bridge scene was also quite epic and very, very awesome. So that's another one. I have mixed thoughts on the end credits scene, so we'll save it for the mixed aspect. But yeah, so for worked for me, I thought everything with T'Challa's legacy worked for me. Everything with Ironheart worked for me. I just think that maybe they could fix her suit a little bit, but I'm sure they'll do that in the Ironheart show. And that's fine. And her chemistry with Shuri and everyone was great. So that worked for me. M'Baku, when he was on screen, worked for me. So yeah, Fedora worked for me. All that stuff worked for me. Let's get into the mixed aspect. Another mixed aspect for me, first mixed aspect for me is I think the plotline of Val and Agent Ross could have been cut out of this movie a little bit. I get what they're trying to do and the seeds they're trying to plant, but it wasn't really feeling like it was needed. Although, I do have a theory video about what this could mean for the Thunderbolts that I'll make tomorrow for you guys. But, so, here's what I'm thinking, right? I think that this could lead to bigger things, so it was important for it to be here. Another thing that feels mixed for me is, like, this movie could have been 40 minutes shorter. It did not need to be 3 hours. I think they could have cut it down to maybe 2:25, maybe 2:30, whatever they needed to do. It could have been like 2 hours and something instead of 3 hours. So we didn't need this movie to be 3 hours. That much I can say. Another mixed aspect for me, the fight choreography. Ryan Coogler is an incredible director, but the man does not know how to shoot action scenes. He does not. He had a couple good ones in the first movie, but I think that's because they had a good choreographer. Here, there's a couple cool scenes, but nothing mind-blowing. Also, another mixed aspect for me is not a lot of the emotional impact hit me as hard as it should have. I didn't care as much for the Queen's death, unfortunately. So that didn't work for me. Another thing that didn't work for me is Shuri's Black Panther for a little bit worked for me. Another thing on the good side, I loved how they did Killmonger's cameo in here as well. But in terms of mixed aspect, guys, my biggest issue with this entire movie, the two biggest things I have the problem with, are Shuri being able to beat Namor out of nowhere in the third act, and do kicks and punches and moves that she should not be able to do. And mixed aspect number two, oh man, I'm mixed on the end credit scene, guys, because it just feels like they're going to make T'Challa 2.0 happen out of nowhere, and I just don't think that's going to work. So that's my thoughts on that one, is that this movie was pretty good, but it had some issues. Let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments below. Do you guys need to hear these spoilers more in depth? Or what are you guys thinking in the comments below? What did you think of Wakanda Forever? Let me know your thoughts, and let's talk about it in the comments. Have a great day.